Hey, what's going on everybody? So today I'm going to show you the fastest way to create protected routes inside of a React application. So what we're going to do here is go ahead and build on top of this minimalist application here where I have 3 routes that I'm using React Router DOM to render. And essentially what I want to do is make sure that the home and profile page are not rendered out until we do some kind of auth check for a user. And then if we do have a user, then we can access these pages. If we don't, we redirect a user back to the login page. The method I'm going to use is going to be to wrap all the pages that I want to be protected inside of a component called protected routes. And then this will allow us to nest these routes so we can run that auth check before any one of those pages get rendered. So let's go ahead and build this in. And what I'm going to do here is create a component called protected routes. And this will be in the utils folder. And we'll just call that protected routes.jsx. So here, what we want to do is import a few things from React Router DOM. So we'll import outlet and then navigate. And I'll explain what these do in a second, but first let's go ahead and create the protected routes component. So this will be an arrow function called protected routes. And the first thing I want to do is go ahead and set the user. And we're not actually going to pull a user from any authentication service at this point. We're just going to set this value to null to represent an unauthenticated user. And then to represent an authenticated user, this will be true. So we get the user. And then the next step is to actually render out the next condition here. So what we want to do is check if we have a user. If we have a user, we're going to go ahead and call outlet. So essentially we're nesting our routes here, and outlet allows us to wrap those routes. And it basically says, go ahead and continue on to the next step. And then all those nested routes can be rendered out. If not, what we're going to do is go ahead and simply redirect a user with navigate, and we're going to send them to the login page. So if a user is not authenticated, they go to the login page. If they are, then we just go ahead and continue on that process. So we just want to go ahead and export this. We'll just do export default protected routes. And now what I need to do is go ahead and bring this into app.jsx. So we'll just import that protected routes. And what I need to do from here is go ahead and create a new route that uses this protected routes component and then nest any route that I want to protect inside of this component. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to create some space here. And I'm going to scroll down so it's more into frame. And let's go ahead and create a route with the element. And for this, we're going to use protected routes here. So that's a component that we're going to pass in. And we can just go ahead and create some space between that closing tag here. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and get these routes right here and nest them into this new route. So let's go ahead and bring them in. We'll go ahead and create some indentation there. We'll save this and let's take a look at what's happening. So right now in this route, we call protected routes. And if we have a user, what's going to happen is we're going to go ahead and call outlet, and outlet will allow this to continue on to those other routes. So they're nested, everything checks out, and then we can render out one of those pages. If for some reason this user is not there, so right now it's null, we're not authenticated, we're going to go ahead and just redirect a user to the login page. So that's how it works. Let's go ahead and actually test this now. So this is my website right now. I'm on the login page. If I try to go to the home page, it's going to redirect me back to this login page. If I try to go to profile, this will not work. These two are protected routes. So what I could do is just go into protected routes, and let's just say that this user is authenticated. So we're just going to say true for simplicity here. And if I go to the home page, I can now see the home page. And if I try to go to the profile page, everything checks out. So it's all working. Okay, that does it for this video, but if you want to take this to the next step, what I'm going to do in the following video is actually lift up this user state using the context API so we can actually reference this user inside of like the login page or anywhere else in our application. And we're also going to add in basic sign in and log out functionality using Appright. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this, and I'll see you all in the next video.